Senior investigative reporter Rebecca Lindstrom with an update on a story, Rebecca, that you have been following for literally years now, and it all turns on issues with a property manager who was allegedly breaking the law in the way they were handling business in their neighborhood.
I think what's really important for people to know and understand is that when we start a story, we really do follow it through. And so the update that we want to give, we're going to make you wait to hear that nugget. First, check out what we're talking about. Where's the money? It is the question everyone is asking, and the people with that answer, Rachel and Brian Cartwright, the owners of Bravo Property Management, aren't talking.
It hurt me real bad.
That's Tommy Bradford. He owns several duplexes, which he rents to help with retirement. He hired Bravo to collect the money and troubleshoot maintenance problems. So what changed?
I wish I could figure it out.
In January, he says the Cartwrights stopped sending the rent and failed to pay the property taxes.
That amounted to $19,000 and some few dollars. They were going to put my properties up for sale on the city square.
Bradford showed us this text message he says is with Rachel. In it, she admits Bravo owes him nearly $30,000. But 6 months later, he's still asking, where's the money?
This situation was shocking to me.
Christy Ledlam, the owner of All County Legacy Property Management, is now working with several of the Cartwrights' former clients, helping to get their properties back on track.
Most of them are not just rolling around in money.
We found 18 police reports and lawsuits across the northeastern part of the metro accusing the Cartwrights of taking their money. If their claims are true, that is more than $590,000 missing. This HOA alleges Bravo wiped out their bank account. And Homestretch, a nonprofit that helps families get stable housing, says the Cartwrights took money from otherwise homeless people.
I don't know how you could really take it without knowing that you're committing a crime or doing something wrong. You know you're taking something that isn't yours.
Ledlam says property management companies get paid a fee for their service. At her office, the rest, from the safety deposits to the rent checks, gets reconciled every week. We tried to talk with the Cartwrights.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless.
Every single number has been disconnected.
And no one responded at their house.
We discovered even the business is gone. Clearly, somebody else rents this space. In Georgia, a property management company like Bravo needs a broker, someone who is checking the books to make sure a business is doing the right thing and hopefully doesn't just disappear. We wanted to know, where was he in all of this?
The time for convening has arrived. The Senate will come to order.
It was during session when I had the first evidence.
Turns out Bravo's broker was State Senator Clint Dixon. And as people like Bradford were fighting for their money, he was in session.
Knew Rachel from high school. Her and Brian were buying a company and came to me. Basically, they were going to do the day-to-day operations, and they said we'd meet once a month to go over the books and show me, how their ledgers were working and all that type of stuff.
The expectation that you're at least looking at what's going on and providing some oversight or accountability.
Yes.
But Dixon says face-to-face meetings turned into emails, and the reports wouldn't show up unless he asked.
Then it got to the point where I was requesting them multiple times before they would send them.
It's a red flag these property owners say should have prompted Dixon to pull his brokerage earlier from their firm, before their money went missing.
Knowing what you know now, do you ever feel like, as the broker, you dropped the ball?
I don't believe so.
Dixon says when he did get the books, they were all in order. And when he became aware the Cartwrights had stopped responding to customers, he shut the company down.
The Cartwrights need to be brought to justice, and that's the bottom line.
But what is justice? Landlords first went to police in Brazelton, where Bravo was located. Investigators closed every single case, calling it a civil matter, essentially breach of contract. According to court records, one person did win a default judgment for $31,000, but even after subpoenaing records from 2 banks, they couldn't find the money to collect.
The tenants paid paid every month, all of it. And Rachel kept the money.
Rachel did text me after I left my business card, but refused to do an interview and refused to answer the question I asked again and again. Where is the money? No more communication.
No more communication, that was.
And again, still really no more communication except for a notice from the Gwinnett County District Attorney letting Rachel Cartwright know that she has now been indicted on 8 felony counts, all related to theft. Now that's just in Gwinnett. We know that there are people in several other counties who claim that their money is missing. I was told by several of those individuals that after our original story aired, she just, without any kind of warning or notice, all of a sudden checks just popped up in the mail. And so some of them have received either all of their funds or partial payments, but they even say if they got 100% of their money back, they still want to see this kind of accountability move forward, because it should not have taken years and years of beating down the doors of her, of police, of, district attorneys, just to try to get some sort of action. Because, I mean, as we've talked before, a lot of these police departments consider this breach of contract. That there isn't a crime that's been committed. And so that's always the challenge, is how do you get them to understand that maybe there was intent?
You talk about waiting years and years of, it sounds like initially, individual property owners just trying to get some attention and get some answers. And that question you kept coming back to again and again in the story, where is the money? That story aired in 2024. It's now March of 2026. This indictment in Gwinnett County
Just happened.
Why did it take so long for that to happen?
I think in part, police need to see that there is a collective group, and they need to know that this is about more than one person. Again, in order for a district attorney to try to prove intent, they need to create that level of pattern. And so if you just have one person, it's easy to say, well, things just were miscommunications or lost in the mail. But when you can show a repeated number of people who are all claiming the same story, you can begin to build that pattern. And so I just think it took time for enough alleged victims to come forward to even think about reaching out to the police department, and then for the police to kind of investigate that and say, yeah, I feel like we've got enough that we can hand it over to the DA. And then, well, I mean, we just know district attorneys are busy, and so they've got to do their own research as well, and then finally take it to the grand jury if they feel like they're going to be able to prove it in court. So that's kind of where this case stands now. I will note that while we mentioned Brian Cartwright, his name is associated in legal documents and in social media and web posts with Bravo Property Management, but he was not named in any of these indictments. And I think that is mainly because, as even we talked with the individuals who felt like they were victimized in this situation, all of their interactions were with Rachel. The text messages are with Rachel. The emails are with Rachel. So what role he played in the business is unclear, but the district attorney felt that if there was accountability, if there was blame, it would go towards Rachel Cartwright.
Rebecca, you talk about the importance of individual people who felt like they were wronged, connecting with each other, allowing law enforcement to see that there was a pattern of alleged illegal activity. You are humble. What you do not point out is that it also, I am sure, helped for you and your reporting to shine a light on this and aggregate the situation here. One last question before we let you go. Is Bravo Property Management still in business?
It is not. And in fact, as we were starting to report on it, you could find very few traces of its existence. The state has revoked their license to operate in Georgia. According to court records, it does appear that they have now moved to Tennessee. So she will still, have to come to court as this plays out here in Georgia. And then we'll see if other police departments or DAs feel like they've got enough case to do something about what's going on in their community as well.
Rebecca, we talk about staying on top of a story as long as it takes. Here's a great example of you.
We follow it through.
You always do. Rebecca, thank you as always.